on a Sunday better suited for Penguins. Late in the fourth quarter, the Browns desperately needed one more miracle.
I can remember in the huddle of the final drive of the Raider game, it was virtually the same as it had been the entire year. We knew we were going to win. I mean, there was no doubt in anybody's mind that we were going to go down and score.
Starting on their own 14-yard line, the Browns raced the clock, battled the Raiders, and fought off the freezing elements in one last gallant attempt to rescue victory. Cleveland rolled to the Raider 13-yard line. But though they needed only a field goal to win, the Browns elected to roll the dice one final time.
Red slot right. You go in. The red slot right. The effect stay 88. Let's go.
The ball on the 13-yard line of the Raiders, who lead 14-12. But with Cleveland needing only a field goal, the Browns appear to be in the driver's seat.
A 27-yard return, and Rich Gannon enjoyed a tremendous season, earning a second straight trip to the Pro Bowl. He throws for touchdowns, he runs for touchdowns, and he takes good care of the football, Phil.
He does it all, Greg, and he's probably been the biggest surprise story in the National Football League this year. The thing with Rich Gannon, good decision maker, moves in the pocket, always looks to throw, and when it's not there, he's able to scramble just far enough to pick up big first downs.
Line of scrimmage, the Raider 32-yard line. Tyrone Wheatley carries on first down and gets very, very little. Let's go to the offensive line.
You look at the Raiders' offensive line, the big thing, they are big and they like to run the football straight ahead.
Zach Crockett starts in the backfield with Tyrone Wheatley, but John Ritchie will also see action. Veteran Tim Brown, Speedy James, Jet, the wideouts, Ricky Dudley starts at tight end. Wheatley is now the solo back behind Gannon on 2nd and 10. Now Dudley shifts into position ahead of Wheatley. Whistles blow, flags fly.
They stood at the line of scrimmage way too long, makes offensive linemen and even outside receivers get jumpy.
Bill Carollo is our official today.
Prior to the snap, false start. 65, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Baltimore's defensive line up front, quick and active ends, Rob Burnett and Michael McCrary. Two human mountains at tackle, Sam Adams and Tony Siragusa.
Look at the linebackers, Bullware, Lewis and Sharper. Ray Lewis is the key.
Starks and McAllister at the corners. Corey Harris replaces injured Kim Herring and starts at safety with Pro Bowler Rod Woodson. Gannon to throw his first pass of the day. That one is complete to number 87, Jeremy Brigham, his tight end. Out to about the 34-yard line.
Well, Greg, I think it's been well documented. If you're not even a football fan, this week you know one thing. Hey, the Baltimore Ravens, they're really good at stopping the running game. So the Raiders, they want to try to run it, but they know they're going against the Ravens' strength. Look for a lot of short passes, especially over the middle of the football.
3rd and 8 now, and Crockett and Randy Gordon are in the lineup. Gannon goes down at the 24-yard line. Michael McCrary came charging in from his defensive end position.
Boy, a couple things went wrong for the Oakland Raiders. You could tell they're at the line of scrimmage. They're confused. A lot of talking's going on. The snap count, it's not on time, and that causes a sack. They're trying to figure out who's going to block who, and it's making it difficult.
Onto the field now, Baltimore quarterback Trent Dilfer. Didn't happen for him at Tampa Bay, but it has in Baltimore. This is his 11th straight start since becoming the starting quarterback for the Ravens in late October. He is 9-1 as the starting QB.
Don't let the numbers fool you. Brian Billick, the head coach, says Trent Dilfer is resourceful. So in other words, if he has to make some plays, he always finds the way to get it done.
Dilfer to throw on first down. The slant is complete to number 87, Qadri Ismail. That's enough for a first down. 18 yards on the play.
The one thing I said to you during warm-ups, Greg, he must have thrown this route 15 times in warm-ups, and I said, Trent Dilfer is throwing the football extremely well. This Baltimore Ravens team, they want to spread Oakland out a little today. They think they can throw the football down the field. That is the weak spot of the Raiders defense.
Ismail made that play in front of the 6-time Pro Bowl cornerback Eric Allen. On first down, the give is to Jamal Lewis, and Lewis across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. A look at the Ravens offensive line.
The Ravens offensive line, everybody knows Jonathan Ogden, but the other guys you see up front, they're doing a good job too.
The outstanding rookie Jamal Lewis teams with veteran Sam Gash in the backfield, Ismail and Patrick Johnson, the wide receivers. Tight end Shannon Sharp is the Ravens' leading receiver. Brian Billick, his team 7-2 away from home this season. Dilfer to throw. Out here to Lewis. And Lewis to the line of scrimmage and maybe another yard or so on the play. Call it a 1-yard game, 3rd and 6. The Oakland defensive front, Tony Bryant, Grady Jackson, Darrell Russell, Reagan Upshaw.
And the Raider linebackers, you have William Thomas, Greg Biekert, and Elijah Alexander.
The secondary features ball-hawking cornerbacks Charles Woodson and Eric Allen, hard-hitting safeties in Marquez Pope and Anthony Dorsett, and Chuck Bresnahan runs the Oakland defense. Priest Holmes, number 33, is now into the game for Baltimore on offense on 3rd and 6. Dilfer on the move. Midfield, looking for a first down yardage, and he is going to be very close. Greg Biekert makes the stop.
It's a good job by Trent Dilfer. Nobody open down the field. Decides to run it. And Greg Biekert, watch him, number 54, kind of mirrors the quarterback, does a good job seeing him come up, makes a strong tackle.
We will get a measurement for the first down as you look at the statistics on Greg Biekert. It's a first down for the Ravens.
You know, the one thing, Greg, you come into an environment like this, the crowd is really noisy. It is tough for a quarterback to communicate to his offensive lineman, but once you get a first down or two, it really eases the tension and the nerves of your team, and now you have a chance to execute.
Split backfield, Lewis and Priest Holmes. Straight ahead is Priest Holmes to about the 45-yard line of the Raiders. A gain of 2, it'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we talked to Brian Billick yesterday, and he says, look, if I'm talking to you guys in 2 weeks, it's going to be because Priest Holmes is going to have a big game today. They want to get him into the lineup, throw the football to him, but more importantly, they want to spread the Raider defense out, 3 wide receivers, create some space, because they think Priest Holmes can take the football, make people miss, and cut it back and get some big runs.
Holmes and Lewis again in the backfield. Dilfer sets up the screen out here to Lewis. Lewis to the 45, forward to the 40-yard line. Eric Allen makes the stop after a pickup of 5, and it'll be 3rd and 3.
Well, you can see it's a really nice game plan so far by the Ravens. Keeping the Raiders a little off balance, not just running the football up inside every single time. Shannon Sharp, number 82, tight end outside. Nice job of getting Marquez Pope on the ground on the screen play.
The Ravens need the 37-yard line for a first down. This is the 7th play of this drive. Quick drop, Dilfer throws, that is incomplete, knocked down by number 49, Marquez Pope.
Now that's a good matchup for the Oakland Raiders. Everybody wants to know, How can you match up against Shannon Sharpe? Marquez Pope is a safety, but he's played corner in the National Football League, so he can cover, has the speed to run down the field with Shannon Sharpe, and that is just a good defensive play, no penalty there.
Trent Dilfer had completed 3 straight before that incompletion.
Well, Darrell Russell finally gets there to put some pressure on the quarterback, but really in the grand scheme of this game, a nice play by Trent Dilfer. He manages the game. He knows his importance to the team, and it's not real high up on the list. Wait for your time to make a play. Don't force it. Let your defense keep dictating the tempo of this game.
Richardson, sky high and short, and takes a Raven bounce inside the 10-yard line. Richardson, number 1 in the NFL with punts inside the 20-yard line, gets one here.
Super Bowl 35.
Ravens middle linebacker Ray Lewis, who says the Tennessee game last week was a brutal game, and he was still a little sore even as we talked to him yesterday morning.
Yeah, the key word was just a little.
Terry Kirby flanked as a wide receiver on first down. The give is to Wheatley, and Wheatley straight ahead for a couple.
You know, one thing, Greg, you talk about Ray Lewis. We talk about him a lot, but we're not overstating his case. He's the middle linebacker. And, of course, everything we hear when we do their games, well, nobody blocks him. You can't block him because you can't get through the defensive line to get to him. And to say it in terms that maybe people at home understand, he's like a quarterback. And his offensive line doesn't allow any sacks or for him to get hit. And that's one of the big reasons why he just makes so many tackles.
Play fake on 2nd and 7. Gannon throws to Wheatley, and Wheatley tries to shake a tackler, is out to about the 15-yard line. Jamie Sharper and Ray Lewis are there. A pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Now, another thing to watch today, which the Baltimore Ravens alerted me to, and I didn't really think of it in his terms. They said, hey, watch the Oakland Raiders offense. Yes, Rich Gannon moves around, all these things, but they never throw it down the field. So that makes the defense look inside. That's one of the reasons why they can come up and make those tackles in on those short passes for no gain.
No progress as yet for the Oakland offense today. Gannon flips, intercepted inside the 20-yard line. Robert Bailey.
2 things on that play. Of course, a terrific play by Robert Bailey. Pressure on the quarterback makes Gannon anticipate more than he wants, and Tim Brown stops on the route. Watch Tim Brown coming across. Robert Bailey anticipates. He stopped. Gannon can't see that. He can't anticipate that because he's under pressure.
49 takeaways during the regular season led the NFL for the Ravens. A look at it from Umpcan.
Sam Adams gets through
Territory, this time at the 49-yard line.
4 possessions by the Ravens. Every time they have been in good field position.
Jamal Lewis, the lone back. Lewis straight ahead, running room, 40, still fighting, close to the 35-yard line, and that'll be a first down for Baltimore after a 14-yard pickup.
Well, I've seen every play the Baltimore Ravens have had in the postseason so far, and Jamal Lewis makes more moves on this play than he did in the previous 2. Goes up inside, a little to the right, cuts back to the left, and this is one of the reasons why the Ravens were maybe thinking of playing Priest Holmes more, to give him more movement, but Jamal Lewis says he's rested and ready to do it.
Lewis again. This time met and hit at the 35-yard line by middle linebacker Greg Beaker.
And, you know, it's not a knock on Jamal Lewis that they were thinking of playing Priest Holmes more. You know, to ask Brian Billick that question, why? And he goes, well, Jamal Lewis has had a terrific year. But he says if there's one thing he is, it's just a little bit impatient. That's natural for a rookie. He wants to get the football, run it up in there, hit somebody, and get some good yards.
On 2nd and 9, loose football. Ravens fall on the ball at about the 35, 34-yard line.
And that was Grady Jackson who got in there and almost caused the fumble. Well, didn't cause the fumble, but the Ravens very fortunate to get it back. And Grady Jackson, you see, he was going to the ground. And see, Greg, it pays to have arms that are about 7 foot long. Because Grady Jackson's going to the ground, reaches up, and still knocks the football out.
3rd and 9.
Of course, Grady Jackson, some very long arms for a guy that's 6'3".
Dilfer over the middle, incomplete, inside the 15-yard line, intended for Shannon Sharp. And we have a marker down where Dilfer went down.
Holding, 62, offense. That penalty is declined, 4th down.
That's right guard Mike Flynn.
Look to the right side. You can see Roderick Coleman. Oh, that's easy. Got his hand in front and got some jersey and pressure.
Everything.
He had it all. That's, well, if you're going to do it, you always say do it well. But a lot of pressure on both quarterbacks so far in the first quarter.
Richardson standing at midfield. That's Darian Gordon at his own 10-yard line. This time, Gordon falls for the fair catch and pulls it in. A few moments ago, Rich Gannon underneath the stadium, walking through a hallway on his way to X-ray, stops, takes a look, sees an interception he doesn't like and continues on. We'll wait for the result. David Dunn from the 5. The 20, 25, 30, runs into his own man and falls forward to about the 32 or 33-yard line. Sunday, February 4th, the Brightest Stars show off in Honolulu at the 2001 Pro Bowl. Check local listings for time and channel. Bobby Hoying once again in at quarterback, and once again, Phil, I know you're going to preach patience here.
Oh, Greg, absolutely. If they're not wide open, don't even think of throwing it. You know, let this game play a little, see what happens, see if your defense can give you an opportunity to get something done, or maybe John Gruden's got a play in there that can fool this Raven defense and get somebody wide open.
John Gruden sends double tight ends out on 1st down. Hoying throwing, far side. Brown was open, but he underthrew it. It's incomplete.
Now, it's going to take a couple plays and a couple throws for Bobby Hoying to get rid of the nerves and get used to this football game, and hasn't played basically this year. But how about this? AFC Championship game, not a big deal. Against, without question, the best defense in the NFL this year. That's nothing, Bobby, you can do it. So, you know, what a tough spot to come in if you're the backup quarterback.
Ravens this year are 14-0 when they score 10 or more points. Hoying throws out in the flat. That's complete to Zach Crockett, out of bounds, just across the 35-yard line.
Well, that's the one place you can take advantage, I think, of this Raven defense. Short passes underneath the pass coverage, and you saw Bobby Hoying do that. Now, John Gruden told us on Friday, we actually talked about Bobby Hoying for a while, and he goes, hey, I am working this guy hard. He believes this is the quarterback that's going to take over when Rich Gannon decides in a few years or whenever it is, he steps down. He thinks Bobby Hoying has it all. Size, can move around, and a very good throwing arm.
On 3rd down, Hoying steps up, pulls it down, going to run, diving at the 40-yard line. He'll be about 2 yards short of a 1st down. Guess who was there to meet him at the 40? Ray Lewis.
You didn't let me guess.
You knew.
But I would have guessed. My first 3 choices would have been Ray Lewis, number 52. He does a lot of this in passing situations. Just kind of goes back, and that's why it's hard for mobile quarterbacks to run against their defense. Did you see? He's always looking in the backfield, seeing where the quarterback is at.
Jamal Lewis, Sam Gash, and straight ahead is Lewis, and not very much there. Pickup of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9. So it has been a game according to form for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, it has. You know, you got to remember now, the Ravens, the Raiders, when you talk about the Raiders, their offense is the 6th best offense in the National Football League. So they have stopped a very good unit. or they did in the first half.
Dilfer in trouble, goes down, courtesy of Darrell Russell.
Greg, I think we said it quite a few times today. Darrell Russell, if he does not get the sack, his partner in crime, Grady Jackson, is going to be there. 96 is Darrell Russell, splits a double team, and gets the sack on Trent Dilfer.
Loss of 10 on the play, and Dilfer is looking at a 3rd and 19. Drop, Dilfer steps up, throws, that ball is intercepted at the 40-yard line. Johnny Harris. The Ravens turn it over for the first time here in the postseason, and that's not your typical play by Trent Dilfer in the offense.
He has not done this in the postseason. Every time this offense comes on the field, watch the interception as it comes up this time, but when they step on, it's success if you just punt the football. Make the Raiders show that they can beat you before you do anything to take a chance on offense.
For the first time all day, Oakland is in Ravens territory, and Rich Gannon is the quarterback. And he'll throw. Pump fake. Throws far side and underthrows his intended receiver, Jeremy Brigham. Brigham was all by himself and the pass was low.
Well, I got to think if Rich Gannon doesn't get hurt in the first half, that play we just saw, he had Ricky Dudley going down the field. He was open for a big gain. Hey, think about it. Gannon, his left shoulder hurts. He wants to drop back, make a decision, and get rid of the football as fast as he can.
Gannon on 2nd down. Quick pass, complete. Brigham inside the 25-yard line, and the flag is down. Tony Siragusa says, come on back.
Tony Siragusa is wrong.
He sure is.
It's roughing the passer. It's not Tony Siragusa that did it. It's
Mike McCrary.
Mike McCrary went down low, hits him late.
So some mistakes, first on offense, now on defense, have allowed the Raiders to advance deep into Baltimore territory.
The Raiders could have not. This is exactly what they wanted coming out of the locker room. And, you know, I don't know. I was thinking, if I was the Raiders coming out, of course, I'm going to try and put a great effort forward. But you got to go, how are we going to get this done? Well, we've seen a couple ways. Baltimore's offense turns it over, and you make a bad penalty.
Wheatley and Crockett in the backfield. Tyrone Wheatley inside the 10-yard line to about the 8. Corey Harris, Jamie Sharper stop after 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Now that's like, hey, Tyrone Wheatley must have felt like he jogged a mile that time. He got 4 yards right up in the middle of a defense where there has been no yardage so far today.
If John Gruden had scripted it at halftime, it couldn't have come out any better so far. Again, the double tight ends for the Raiders. Gannon over the middle, inside the 5-yard line to about the 3 is Tim Brown.
Well, that's what you got to do. When you get inside the opponent's 10-yard line in the National Football League, you got to have some deception. 3 receivers together. Tim Brown on the outside comes to the inside, and Rich Gannon sees it's a zone. Everybody drops back, gets rid of it quick, and look at the Ravens defense. They are there immediately to make the tackle.
Line of scrimmage is the 3-yard line. 3rd and 1. Wheatley, left side, fighting for first down yardage.
Greg,
Harrison McAllister on the tackle.
I'm sorry, I can't talk fast enough. I was going, don't even think of running this one up in the middle again like you did on the 3rd and a couple inches earlier in the game. Wheatley goes outside. I said, oh, he might score. And he burrows in there to get a few extra inches.
How about the importance of this measurement?
Listen, if they come up short, this is an interesting call John Gruden will have to make. Do you go for the first down?
He doesn't have to worry about it.
Doesn't have to make it.
1st and goal for the Oakland Raiders.
I'll tell you what I think he would have done, since I brought it up, talk to myself all the time. I think he would have kicked the field goal. I don't think he would have taken a chance.
Although, let's face it, you don't get this deep very often against the Baltimore defense. 1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
I would usually say deception. Rich Gannon moving, faking, but I don't know how much movement we're going to see from him because of the injury to his left shoulder.
Wheatley. Not much there.
Hey, Greg, they do it. They try to deceive the defense a little. They say, okay, let's have the fullback go left. Wheatley goes right. Watch it. They say, oh, it's got to be a run to the left, but it's not. It goes the other way, and there is nowhere to go.
Number 91, Lionel Dalton, at the bottom of that pile, making the tackle.
Jamie Sharper, their defenses usually follow the fullback. That's where the halfback usually follows. That time, the Raiders don't do it. Still don't get anything.
Gannon rolls, looks, and is dragged out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. That's Jamie Sharper.
Well, I said it earlier in this telecast. Name me the weak spot. Well, you know, the Ravens might lose this today. I don't know. But when you watch this team, Jamie Sharper, you can't even say his name. You know why? He plays on the outside. He hustles to the ball. He's in position to make a lot of tackles. The problem is 3 of the defenders beat him to it. But that time, he's plays with a lot of enthusiasm, Jamie Sharper. He has really matured, and the Ravens think he's a terrific player on the outside at linebacker.
3rd and goal. Gannon throws, incomplete. Randy Jordan hit him in the hands, and he dropped it. And the Raiders now 1 for 10 on 3rd downs today.
Nice idea. Nobody open in the end zone. Look at Randy Jordan, sneaks out late. Oh, you know, it's a pretty good throw. I do not think Randy Jordan picked that football up because of the official in front of him and one defender. He could not see it until too late.
Janikowski will line up what would be a 24-yard field goal. And it's good. 10:08 to play in the 3rd quarter, and the Raiders finally get on the board. They trail 10-3.
Down the middle against Ray Lewis was a good matchup.
Tim Brown in motion. Point, time, throws, incomplete at the goal line. Andre Rison had it and lost it. And a pretty good delivery of the ball by Bobby Hoying.
Oh, boy, Bobby Hoying really gets into it. Watch Andre Rison, number 80 on the outside. He's going to catch it, but look at Corey Harris's reaction. Oh, he's dropping it before he gets hit. He's looking out the corner of his eye for where the defender was. That causes the incompletion. That was huge.
2nd and 10. 5:09 to play. Hoying, quick pass this time. Kirby inside the 10 to the 5, close to a 1st down. Hoying started to call a timeout and decided not to after consulting with the sideline. Onto the field comes Jeremy Brigham, a tight end.
Boy, Terry Kirby, he's like bringing a whole new dimension to the football game. An underneath receiver, a running back, hard to tackle him inside.
1st and goal. Kirby, the lone back behind Hoying. He has time, comes to the near side and throws it away just before he gets clocked. And it'll be 2nd and goal. Peter Boulware, Jamie Sharper in pursuit of the quarterback.
You know, in the NFL, when you move around like this, Bobby Hoying in the pocket, good protection, takes off, comes to the sideline. Receivers almost always uncover and get wide open. Nobody open that time for the Raiders.
Comes the blitz. Quick pass. Touchdown! Penalty marker is down. I would not be surprised if this is an offensive penalty. It is. It's against the Raiders.
Pass interference, number 80, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Andre Rison.
Well, as soon as it happened, the official looked right at him and said it's against you. Watch Andre Rison against Dwayne Starks. 2 hands to the chest, pushes him away. He knows it's against him, spikes it anyway.
So the line of scrimmage is the 15-yard line, 2nd and goal. Hoying right up the middle. And down at about the 12 or the 11-yard line. Peter Boulware corralled him from behind. Clock continues to move, coming up on 4 minutes to play. The Oakland Raider attack, which is usually Rich Gannon and Tyrone Weekly, is now Bobby Hoying and Terry Kirby.
Well, you saw John Gruden giving the instructions to Bobby Hoying. I'm sure he's telling him the situation, don't take a sack, what to do, and probably who to look for.
Hoying throws over the middle, intercepted. Jamie Sharper. Sharper slides down at the 17-yard line, and that should put the lock on a trip to Tampa for the Baltimore Ravens. 3:41 to play, 16-3 Baltimore, and they stop the Raiders.
29-10, the final score here in Baltimore. Ian Eagle, Solomon Wilcots with you with this NFL recap presented to you by Lexus. Ravens get the win over the Raiders. The Baltimore Ravens, the offense, the creativity today with Joe Flacco leading the way as a quarterback, as a receiver, and as a runner. We saw just about everything from Flacco.
Yeah, we saw, I think, a rookie quarterback continue to grow before our eyes. His ability to protect the football today I thought was paramount. But then once he got into the flow of the game, he threw the ball with great accuracy, came up with some big plays down the field. But then when they brought in that wildcat formation, brought in Troy Smith at the quarterback position, excellent play down the field to Joe Flacco, who beat the linebacker in one-on-one coverage. You can see he's 6'6", but he has beautiful speed, excellent talent, but his poise and ability to make plays when the team needs it, I think that's going to serve them well down the road.
The Baltimore defense, too much for Jamarcus Russell and the Oakland offense to handle. No Darren McFadden today, out with a turf toe injury. They really missed the big playability of the Arkansas star.
Absolutely. Without Darren McFadden, this offense could go nowhere for the Oakland Raiders. Certainly couldn't run it against Ray Lewis and company, who now has gone 26 consecutive games without allowing a 100-yard rusher. That put the game squarely on the shoulders of Jamarcus Russell, who tried mightily, but no receivers able to make plays for him. And so with the pressure and being really just one-dimensional on offense, too much pressure on Jamarcus Russell against this Baltimore Ravens defense.
Raiders were feeling good about themselves after last week. They got the win in overtime against the New York Jets. They brought that emotion with them west to east, but it didn't show up here today in Baltimore. The Ravens get the win. They improve to 4-3. The Raiders fall to 2-5. That's going to do it from Baltimore. For Solomon Wilcots, I'm Ian Eagle, exclusively on CBS Sports.
picking it off. Vikings win it by 10. How about the Ravens? They just stayed out on the West Coast.
Yeah,
they went from Denver to Oakland. Derek Carr had that bad hand after the injury against Cincinnati on opening day, but looking just fine, thank you. Amari Cooper, 68 yards from the score.
Rookie from Alabama. He's going to be a great one.
Remember, they didn't even run a play in Cincinnati territory until the fourth quarter last week, so getting off to a fast start was nice. Fourth quarter, Ravens ball, down 30-23. 4th and 1, Joe Flacco, we're just plunging forward, taking the shove, moving on with 8 minutes to go. Then Lorenzo, Taliaferro, back healthy, nice cut, and we're tied at 30. Next Raiders possession. Carr underthrows it and picked off by Will Hill.
Somebody tackle him.
Carr has receivers this year.
So with less than 5 minutes to go, the Ravens are in good shape. Now 3rd and 8, and you had Steve Smith just take it down.
Only 1 foot in. This is not college. You got to have them both in.
So they had to settle for a Justin Tucker field goal and a 3-point lead, but that keeps the door open for the Raiders. Trying to get Jack Del Rio his first win as a head coach. Carr. Michael Crabtree, look at the tipping toes.
Good job, Crab.
You had Crab and Amari Cooper to that receiving core, and now you're legit.
He had 9 grabs, a $111, and a score. 2 plays later, under 45 ticks to go. Carr looking for Michael Rivera, and it is picked by Will Hill again. However,
laundry on the field.
Hold the phone.
Don't worry about the fumble. It's defensive holding. So the Raiders keep the ball. And so, Carr, who are you going for? Of course, that would be Seth Roberts. Why wouldn't you go for him?
Go win the game.
Carr Cooper, 351 and 3 scores, and Oakland wins a barn.